Have you ever felt so utterly alone that it seemed the entire world had turned its back on you? Picture the Smoky Mountains, where an ache lingers in the air, forging a bond with the enigmatic legend of the Boojum. These mesmerizing blue ridges roll endlessly, veiled in a mist that swirls, concealing secrets and shadows that live among the trees. Venture too far into the fog, and you may feel unseen eyes upon you, not beast, not man, but something hauntingly in between. This is nestled between North Carolina and Tennessee. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park stretches across 800 square miles of untamed wilderness. For millions of visitors, it is a sanctuary of natural beauty. For the Cherokee, it is a sacred homeland, enriched with the pulse of their culture. However, beneath the surface of this breathtaking landscape lies a history steeped in struggle and survival. A tapestry woven with darker thread. In these ancient mountains, a set of unwritten rules governs the lives of those who tread their paths. Nighttime whispers beckon, but heeding them can lead to peril. If you hear your name called from the shadows, ignore it, for it's not a friend. Never gaze too long into the rustling trees, for they may be watching you back. These warnings, born from the legends and myths of the land, speak of a mysterious creature, the Boojum, a figure shaped by nature's upheaval and mankind's folly. The Smokies have been a sanctuary for countless souls over millennia, starting with the Cherokee and the tribes that came before them. For centuries, they thrived among the peaks, planting crops in lush valleys, foraging from abundant forests, and fishing in crystal-clear streams. The Cherokee lived by the principle of Tohai, a sacred harmony with nature, stemming from their deep connection to the land and its spirit. A life lived in balance, where each ceremony, however, harmony began to shatter with the arrival of colonists in the 18th century. To them, the mountains were not a sacred land, but a wilderness to conquer. The Cherokee, initially willing to share their homeland, soon faced the brutal realities of encroachment. The Indian Removal Act of 1830 forced thousands westward along the tragic trail of tears, a path stained with the tears of those who lost their homes, their connections, as the echoes of that forced migration reverberated through time. A bittersweet struggle emerged for those who remained. Some Cherokee found ways to stay, becoming the guardians of a fading legacy. Yet they stood as outsiders in their own land. The establishment of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in 1934 brought with it a bittersweet irony, conservation triumphing. Atop those majestic purple peaks lies 300,000 acres of pristine wilderness, a triumph for wildlife, but a tragedy for the displaced. Families who had called these mountains home were uprooted, their properties swallowed by the park, leaving many in despair. The once thriving logging industry began to dwindle, plunging communities into years of upheaval and loss may have coalesced into the figure of the Boojum, a creature of folklore born from the very struggles of the land. The legend first emerged in print in 1876 through Lewis Carroll's whimsical poem. But the Boojum predates literary fame. He became known for pilfering gems from miners. Yet a poignant tale tells of a young woman named Annie. Exhausted from a day's toil, she found herself drawn to a tranquil mountain spring. Unaware that a gate with eyes meeting, Annie did not flee in fear, but instead sensed the Boojum's profound loneliness and chose to follow him deeper into the woods. Their bond blossomed, yet the Boojum's insatiable appetite for precious gems drove him away each night. Leaving Annie yearning and alone, she would call into the night, her voice echoing through the forest, while the Boojum's distant replies created a haunting duet. Some speculate that the Boojum symbolizes the echoes of older Cherokee tales, stories of spirits, both benevolent and malevolent, woven into the fabric of nature. Dakota reflects on these narratives, suggesting that while some may seem frightful, they often contain vital lessons on living in harmony with the world around us. Each haunting story serves as a guide, teaching us how to coexist with nature. Through the oral traditions passed down through generations, the teachings of the Cherokee continue to influence the Smoky Mountains. However, to outsiders, these spirits may appear monstrous, embodying the complexities of a history where the line between beauty and horror blurs. The Boojum, whether rooted in Cherokee heritage or not, reveals a truth about how landscapes evolve into stories. Layered, the explosion of Appalachian myths and cryptid sightings across social media reflects this intrigue, a manifestation of a cultural landscape fraught with mystery, upheaval, and resilience. Dakota notes how these stories act as warnings, encouraging respect for the land that does not belong to any one individual, but to all who tread upon it. In a world that often seems to divide, these tales call for a collective responsibility. Today, if you wander through Appalachia, you might feel a palpable weight, a resonance of history that pulses amid the towering trees. Follow that sensation. Let it guide you along the unseen trails, and you may uncover a narrative rich with beauty and turmoil, steeped in struggle and resilience, a testimony to the essence of this. As we stand on the precipice of understanding, let us embrace these stories, for they are reminders of our shared past and our intertwined futures. Listen closely as the Smoky Mountains whisper their age-old secrets, inviting us to partake in a journey that transcends time and taps into the very roots of humanity. Join us in unraveling these legends, cherishing the tales that bind us to this sacred land.